Boom, Trump just dropped a massive 25% tariff on EU imports, and Europe is furious. This isn't just another political move, this could shake up global trade, disrupt major industries, and even backfire on the US economy. Will the EU fight back? Will this spark a full-scale trade war? Or is this a genius move by Trump to boost American businesses? Stay tuned, because we're breaking down everything you need to know right now. You're watching Elite Global Watch, where we simplify the complex and reveal the hidden. Donald Trump is back in the White House, and he's wasting no time shaking up global trade. His latest move? A massive 25% tariff on European imports, hitting industries hard and sending shockwaves through the global economy. But why is he doing this? According to Trump, the US has been ripped off by Europe for years. He claims this tariff is a necessary step to fix the trade imbalance, protect American industries, and bring jobs back to the US. The European Union exports far more to the US than it imports, and Trump says it's time to level the playing field. But here's the big question: is this a strategic power move, or a reckless gamble that could backfire? Trump's tariff announcement. What we know. What's being taxed? This tariff isn't just a minor tweak, it's a direct hit to some of Europe's biggest industries. The biggest target? Automobiles. Brands like BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen will now face a 25% import tax, making European cars significantly more expensive for American buyers. But it doesn't stop there. The tariff also impacts key industries such as pharmaceuticals. Drug imports from the EU just got more expensive. Semiconductors and tech components, a potential disruption in the electronics market. Trump's justification: America first or trade war? Trump's reasoning? He claims the US has been getting a bad deal for decades. According to him, the EU has imposed higher tariffs on American goods for years while enjoying access to the US market. His message is simple: it's time to fight back. Trump's key arguments: fix the trade imbalance. The US imports far more from the EU than it exports. Boost American jobs. Higher tariffs could push companies to manufacture in the US. Pressure the EU. Force Europe to lower its own tariffs on US goods. How this fits into Trump's bigger economic strategy. This move is classic Trump economics: hardball negotiations, protectionist policies, and a firm stance against global competitors. It's part of his larger America First economic agenda, aimed at reducing dependency on foreign goods and revitalizing US industries. But the question is, will this strategy actually work, or will it backfire? If the EU retaliates, we could be looking at a full-blown trade war, price hikes, and economic turmoil on both sides. So how is Europe responding? Are they preparing for economic battle, or will they back down? Let's find out. EU's reaction and possible retaliation. The European Union is not taking President Trump's 25% tariff announcement lightly. Brussels has vowed to respond firmly and immediately to what it deems unjustified trade barriers. EU spokesperson stated, quote, "The EU will always protect European businesses, workers, and consumers from unjustified tariffs." European leaders are expressing deep concern over the potential impact on their economies. French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz have both emphasized the need for a united European response to counteract these tariffs. Industries across Europe are bracing for impact. The automotive sector, in particular, faces significant challenges, with companies like BMW and Volkswagen potentially seeing increased costs and disrupted supply chains. In response, the EU is considering several retaliatory measures, imposing tariffs on US goods, targeting iconic American products such as motorcycles, whiskey, and denim. Filing a complaint with the World Trade Organization (WTO), challenging the legality of the US tariffs to seek a formal resolution. Strengthening trade alliances with other global partners, exploring closer economic ties with nations in Asia and Latin America to reduce reliance on US markets. The EU's swift and assertive stance signals a determination to defend its economic interests. As this transatlantic trade tension escalates, the global community watches closely, aware that the ripple effects could reshape international trade dynamics. Economic and geopolitical consequences. President Trump's imposition of a 25% tariff on European Union imports has sent shockwaves through global markets. Let's dive into the immediate and far-reaching impacts of this bold move. Potential for a full-scale U.S. EU trade war. The European Union has pledged to react firmly and immediately to these tariffs, hinting at possible retaliatory measures. This tit-for-tat escalation raises the specter of a full-scale US-EU trade war, which could inflict economic damage on both sides of the Atlantic. Effects on global markets and supply chains. The ripple effects extend beyond Europe and the US. Global supply chains are at risk of significant disruption, leading to increased production costs and delays worldwide. Investors are already expressing concern, as market volatility intensifies amid the uncertainty. Reshaping US-EU relations. This aggressive trade stance marks a pivotal shift in US-EU relations. Long-standing alliances are being tested, and the trust that underpins transatlantic cooperation is eroding. The EU may seek to strengthen trade ties with other global partners, potentially diminishing US influence in European markets. As the situation unfolds, the global community watches closely, aware that the decisions made in the coming days could redefine international trade dynamics for years to come. Historic context. Have we seen this before? To understand its potential impact, let's dive into similar events from the past. Previous US-EU tariff disputes under Trump's first term. Back in 2018, during President Trump's first term, the US imposed tariffs of 25% on steel and 10% on aluminum imports, citing national security concerns. This action affected not only China but also traditional allies, including the European Union. In response, the EU swiftly retaliated by implementing tariffs on iconic American products such as Harley-Davidson motorcycles and bourbon whiskey. This tit-for-tat escalation strained transatlantic trade relations and led to prolonged negotiations. The impact of past trade wars. Who won, who lost? Trade wars often result in a lose-lose scenario. During the previous US-EU tariff dispute, American whiskey exports to Europe saw a significant decline due to increased prices from retaliatory tariffs. European automakers faced increased costs, leading to price hikes and reduced competitiveness in the US market. Consumers on both sides experienced higher prices and reduced product availability. Moreover, the uncertainty surrounding trade policies led to market volatility, affecting investments and economic growth globally. Lessons from history. What might happen next? History suggests that escalating tariffs can trigger retaliatory measures, disrupt global supply chains, and dampen economic growth. The current situation could unfold similarly. The EU may impose counter-tariffs on a range of American goods, intensifying the trade conflict. Businesses might seek alternative markets or adjust supply chains, leading to increased operational costs. Diplomatic relations could be strained, complicating future negotiations on various international issues. However, history also shows that negotiation and compromise can eventually de-escalate trade tensions. Stakeholders on both sides may find it in their best interest to return to the negotiating table to seek a mutually beneficial resolution. In conclusion, here's where we stand. Trump's 25% tariff on EU imports has set the stage for what could be a major global trade shift. European industries are bracing for impact, the US is doubling down on its America First policy, and the world is watching to see if this escalates into a full-blown trade war. Will this move strengthen the US economy and bring back jobs, or is it a risky gamble that could backfire? Will the EU fight back with retaliatory tariffs, or seek new trade alliances that weaken America's influence? Now, we want to hear from you. Is Trump's tariff a smart move for America, or is this a disaster in the making? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into global power struggles, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.